Hey guys, so whenever I make a more get good at League kind of style video, the question I always get asked the most is like, how do I get better at my favorite champion? So I thought today we'd go over and answer that question. I know clicking this video, you're probably thinking it's complete clickbait and bollocks, but honestly, like doing this will let you win more games straight away with any champion. And by the way, I'm so serious about this that it will actually work. If you aren't sure about any of it after watching it, tweet me, comment in the video, Instagram, DM me, whatever you want to do, and I will help you get started. Now, this is exactly what I do as well, actually, before I play a champion properly, or if I want to start maining something different. It's kind of what takes your play to another level. The way you really level up your gameplay, honestly, on a champion is through experience. So all you've got to do is play 300, maybe 400 games and you'll be good. Easy, right? Well, I don't know about you, but I do not want to spend that time doing it. So instead, we're going to borrow some experience from other people, and that gives us a nice little head start. It's also because you learn the most when you actually screw up, when you die normally, when something doesn't work. That does mean you're going to lose a lot of games learning, but instead we let these others lose and we learn from their mistakes. There are so many sites where you can find people who are good at specific champions, but op.gg has it, and it's pretty easy to use as well. You can see a list of the best players on any champion, their rank, their KDA, games played, their win rate as well. Ideally, you want to find someone at the top with a high number of games played, a decent rank, a good win rate, and a decent-ish KDA. It'll only show players above Diamond 2, so honestly, you can learn from any of them. They're all going to be like top 2,000 on the server or top 5, top 10 at a specific champion. The reason we're looking at these people in particular is because they put the time into learning the champions and understanding them much better than most people. They will have tried pretty much every single build, every mastery page, every rune set, and they're going to know what feels the best on the current patch, as well as making loads of mistakes and learning from them. It isn't just that though. We're looking for how they win games, what they do to get a lead, what they do to win. They won't be doing this purely through amazing mechanics. I guarantee you that. They're going to be using their knowledge on the champion to win. That is how one-trick ponies work. That is the knowledge we can steal and use for ourselves to instantly get better. Now, op.gg also naturally tracks high-elo players, so you're going to be pretty much guaranteed to have replays for the champions to watch, which is what we need. If you aren't sure, you click the little video icon on the match history, download, boot it up. It has to be from the current patch, by the way. If it doesn't work, then go to the help page, which I'll link down below, and enter in the location of your league install, and it should work. You can pick whichever region you want to up in the top right, but I'd suggest sticking to bigger regions where there's more competition. So normally I would use EU West, North America, or Korea. What I really break this down to is like pre-game, first of all, the build, the masteries, runes. That's pretty straightforward. For the actual in-game stuff, you need to be asking yourself why while you watch this. Basically, why are they doing that? Why do they choose to fight then? Why do they roam then? Why do they build this item? Why do they focus on that person? Stuff like that. They aren't always going to get things right, but they should have some reasoning behind it, normally from experience, so that is what we want. Trading is a very good example, actually. Normally they fight when it's a good time, but what makes a good time? Chances are like the enemy used a cooldown themselves, so they can't use it on that person, or they step too far forward, but seeing examples of that in game lets you apply it to your own games. So mostly what I watch for in the early game, the first 4 levels: do they fight, do they push, do they freeze, how do they survive, and how do they get a lead from it. It's also how do they play against the opponent, like how do they avoid harass, when do they choose to fight, stuff like that. Levels 4 to 7 is also quite important as well, because do they engage straight away at 6, have they based before, do they look to fight, do they look to roam. Base timings is a pretty big thing, actually. They base on certain gold for certain items, which can give them bigger spikes than normal. Mid game is more like where their game plan comes in. Do they roam, where do they ward, do they try to catch or try to react to the enemy more. For junglers, you can get like the jungle route from them, where they gank first, the gank timings and stuff they look for. Like that can be really key. A good early start to a jungle can instantly increase your win rate. Late game as well, it's about do they group, do they split push, do they look for fights or look for picks. And in team fights, it can massively increase your ability to team fight. Like their positioning, their target focus, and what they actually do is very easy to mimic in your own games. The biggest things I think you can take away from this video and what you can actually learn is how to play the lane phase, how to trade properly, so like what abilities used in what order and when, what to do mid game, what a good roam looks like, and how you team fight, so how you position and what you focus on. Honestly, the easiest way to get better at anything is to look at somebody who knows what they are doing and copy to start with. Once you have like something to work towards, once you know what you're supposed to do, the game becomes 10 times easier, trust me. And this goes for every game, not just League. Right now, most of you are figuring it out as you go, right? Whether you realize it or not, you clicked on this video to get more of an idea of what you should be doing so you can start to and work on that in your games. That is what you're subconsciously going to be clicking it for anyway. Maybe it's my voice, I have no idea. There's too many comments like that you sleep to my videos, but that is what this entire video is about, really. You look at the best players of your champion, you learn how they play, you learn what you should be doing, and then you go into your own games. You work on those things, you trade better, you'll fight better, you build better, and you're going to win more. Every good player does this, so I'm really not making this up. Most of you know App though, right? The famous Korean solo queue god who craps on everybody. A few seasons ago, he was actually famous for his Kassadin, but in reality, actually, he watched another really good Kassadin player, studied his build, his playstyle, and then he copied it. It gave him a really good foundation to then become the best because he knew what he was aiming towards and what he should be doing. It's like with Lucian as well, another example. The optimal trade is good, like E in, auto attack, Q, auto, W, auto, then ultimate to wait for cooldowns. Why would you do that? Because your E resets with passive shots, so you use it first, then you auto after, plus the autos after your Q and W, mean you can use it again sooner. Using your ultimate after cooldowns is just the efficient use of time and damage output, really. A lot of people wait until they're far away, but you can use this point blank and it still does a lot of damage. Why do I know that though? Like, why do I know when I can and can't use my E to start a fight? Because I've played over 800 games of him and I've screwed up and died hundreds of times dashing in when I shouldn't have. I've also watched really good Lucian players to learn from them. That's a more obvious example, but I think you get the idea. This game can be very hard sometimes because you might have been playing like a year or two, but you're up against people like me who've been playing 6 years. This is a really good way to kind of bridge the time and experience gap basically from a newer player to an older player. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments or if you need any more help. There will be links to everything in the description to help you get started. Thank you for watching until the end, and for now, I'm going to leave you with the robots.